Welcome to Think Your Way to an Epic Life. Today's episode is different. It's very different. I don't have a guest and I'm flying solo because I want to share something that radically improved the quality of my life and the lives of all those people that are really close to me. This is the kind of episode where if you will listen closely, it could be something that changes your life radically. This podcast will be pretty short, but it could be the turning point in your life. So stick with me. I promise it will be worth it. I'm so excited about what I'm going to share today because, well, I actually sold my real estate team at the end of November after a phenomenal 22-year career in real estate. That's how committed I am to this next chapter in my coaching career of over 5 years so far. So I've seen this unique coaching change so many lives, including my own, and I just can't keep it a secret anymore. Let me tell you a story. I was 5 years old, and my two older sisters and I were home alone, and there was no food in the house. No parents in sight. Both of my parents were alcoholics, and we were living in deep poverty and complete neglect. My sisters, who were 10 and 5 years older than me, remembered that I had some tooth fairy money. Of course, they didn't want to take money from a 5-year-old little girl, but they said, hey, you know, we could go get some lunch with that. You could contribute. And oh my gosh, getting this opportunity to actually contribute at 5 years old was life changing. It totally shifted the trajectory of my world. So the three of us walked up to the Zippy's convenience store up the road. We bought a loaf of bread, a can of tuna fish, which was a really treat for us, and a 2-liter bottle of Coke. My oldest sister counted out the coins and she said, Kara, there's even enough money left over for you to buy a bag of chips, but you could keep the change if you wanted. I said, heck no, let's get the chips. I felt like such a big shot. When we got home, Stacy made the sandwiches and we had Coke and chips, and I got to be the one that provided that moment for us at 5 years old. What I learned was if I could earn money, I could make a big, powerful, positive difference. So I started working full time when I was 13 years old, and I haven't slowed down since. I am genuinely grateful for my difficult childhood, even if that's hard to believe. Without it, I wouldn't have the drive I do today. I've got no regrets, and I truly believe the person you can help the most in life is the person that you used to be. I get to help a lot of people now. It's great. There's nothing quite like seeing a client when they actually get it. When I see the lights turn on, when their fear falls away, and when they see themselves clearly for the first time in a long, long, long time, it's purely magical. And until I sold my real estate team, I was doing both careers. I've been doing this coaching company for 5 years. It started off as Go Coaching and then it shifted to Base Coaching Group about a year ago. And now we're evolving again. It's not just a name change this time. It's a reimagining of the entire mission and new leadership. This company has been my professional home, and I can honestly, truly, deeply say the leadership has been extraordinary. Most recently, we've welcomed Fritz Pollard, our new director of coaching. Fritz led MAPS coaching at Keller Williams, overseeing hundreds of coaches. He brings with him a culture of high accountability and constant growth, which you know I love. Since he joined 3 months ago, our team has already deeply studied 3 incredible coaching books together and participated in high-level weekly trainings. We're coaching each other, we're filming each other, coach each other, and then Fritz is going through and giving us pointers on how we could have done a little bit better. It's truly amazing how hands-on of a leader he is. This isn't just a coaching company. It's a living, breathing environment of transformation. We are broker agnostic, and what that means is we can work from realtors with realtors from any company. Doesn't have to be Keller Williams. And listen up, this is exciting. We can also work with other professionals like lenders or engineers or entrepreneurs or high-level leaders. We offer several different coaching divisions, and we're adding more as we grow. Life and transformational coaching, which I co-lead with Dr. Ron. I need to do an aside here. I am incredibly grateful to get to partner with my mentor, my coach, and my dear friend, Dr. Ron, along with his lovely bride, Carol, who is our first coach and completely handles all the details of all the stuff that we do. The two of them, their wisdom and their depth and their compassion have helped me grow into the person that I am today. And leading this division is not just a professional milestone. It's truly a calling. We have AI coaching, artificial intelligence. We're helping professionals integrate artificial intelligence into their businesses and their strategies for life. I totally understand the resistance to embracing artificial intelligence. However, warning, 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 if you don't, you will definitely be left behind. Not just in your career, in your life. Guys, I use artificial intelligence for just about everything. We also have an investment coaching department covering every real estate path from buying and flipping to Airbnb to long-term rentals. Of course, I'm biased. I've been in the industry for 22 years, over 22 years. However, the average homeowner has a net worth of $455,000 and the average renter a net worth of $6,000. Real estate, the American dream, truly does give you a way to increase your net worth. And more divisions are on the way. The vision is to create a one-stop shop where professionals can get the best coaching on the planet. So let's say that you came into the life and transformational division with us and you're there for however long and it's going great and you realize, man, I really do need to get onto the investment train. I'm seeing all these people around me and they've got these wonderful net worths and I'm not doing that. And so I could really use some help on my investing. Not a problem. We can transfer you from one division to the other very easily, very seamlessly, and you don't have to have the anxiety or fear about it. And you can meet your new coach, of course, before you agree to go into their program. And then you can come back to us. I mean, it's just really very fluid. So we're back to story time again. So 1990, let's go back to there. I was in an awful marriage. I was in a really bad way. And you can imagine I would be with the childhood that I had. I had a lot of issues. My ex-husband had a lot of issues. And you put those together in a couple of young kids who are 19 when they got married, there's going to be some issues that you probably can't overcome. At least we couldn't. And so I left him and I had to go over to our house to go pick something up. And when I was there, he said, hey, I bought this series of cassette tapes. That also dates me, but this cassette tapes, and it's called 30 Days to Your Personal Power by Tony Robbins. And he said, this guy will help you get your life together. And if you just listen to these tapes, you'll have a much better life. Do you want to listen? Oh yeah, I wanted to listen. I wanted to listen so bad that I was willing to go over to our ex-house every day and listen to that day's cassette, take notes like mad, and then go home and really, really do all the exercises that came along with them. See, this program was $300. I didn't have $300. It was either on day 1 or day 2 of the program that I quit smoking forever. Guys, I was a 2-pack a day smoker, and I had tried to quit at least 7 times. That convinced me that I just didn't know things. And the fact that Tony Robbins in his cassette tapes was able to teach me how to do something as massive as quit smoking effortlessly, painlessly, that's when I knew this is the path I have to stay on. So over the years, I've had a lot of coaches, and a lot of those were cassette tapes, or when things got going, CDs. I listened to CDs, but nothing compares to what I've found now. I was my own coach in a lot of ways. I was addicted to learning everything I could about the brain, how I could have a better experience of life. I was listening to headphones all night long, trying to reprogram my brain. And it was helpful. It really was in a lot of ways. And I had a life that you would probably, from the outside looking in, say is incredibly successful. However, guys, it really wasn't. It was 35 years. Please hear me. 35 years of reading books and listening to tapes and going to seminars. I've been to see Tony Robbins 3 times. I've seen so many people, it would blow your mind how much money I have poured into going to seminars and all the books and everything I've done. And it was great. I had what the world would say was outward success. And that's very true. I did. I had outward success. However, it wasn't until I went through Dr. Ron's 8-week program that I really understood what success was. I had outward success, but inside here in this brain, it wasn't pretty. So the way I met Dr. Ron, I think this is kind of fun too, is his people, he has people working with him, and his people contacted my people to get onto my podcast. And so the first time I ever met him, I was interviewing him on the podcast. At the time, I was dealing with a non-cancerous, very large, very rare, out of 1 million tumors, only 3 or 4 are desmoid tumors. So I'm dealing with this huge tumor, and I have been all the way to the Mayo Clinic to try and do whatever I could to fix this, and nothing was working. I've been dealing with this for over 5 years. And one of the things that I did to help myself fix this was I read the book Radical Remission. And Radical Remission is a book about a doctor who found out that there were patients that had absolute remissions without any medical interference whatsoever with cancer and tumors and all that. So she interviewed and studied 1,500 people who had had a radical remission after medical had said, there's nothing we can do for you. They had a radical remission, and she figured out what did they do to get better. So the people who got better, they did 10 different things: health, nutrition, exercise, lots of different, all that stuff. I was doing 8 of the 10 already in an effort to get this thing to leave me alone and go away. But the 2 that I weren't doing was accepting social support. I wasn't telling anyone. And so it's kind of a big deal that I'm just on this podcast telling everyone now. I wasn't telling anyone. And the second one was releasing past trauma. Guys, I truly believed all of my life that trauma that was back there from my childhood, that needed to just stay back there. I was so wrong. I was dead wrong. And there's no one who doesn't have past trauma. Even if you had a perfectly wonderful childhood, mom and dad weren't always there when you needed them. You didn't always get what you needed or you wanted. There was a time that your diaper was wet and nobody came to change it for a while. Guys, and I'm not making excuses or anything like that. I'm just saying that we all have it, and the issues are in the tissues. When you have issues, you stuff them down. When you have conflict and you don't want to deal with it, you put it into this cave. And Dr. Ron talks about that a lot. Dr. Joseph Campbell was his mentor, and he said that the cave that you fear to enter is the cave that holds your freedom. And so you have to go back. You have to do it in a safe, guided way, but you release that past trauma, and then you have, so much freedom. So when I met Dr. Ron, I knew he was the one, and I hired him as my executive coach. Within just a few sessions, something incredible happened. The child in me came back to life. I felt happier and more in peace than I have ever been. I now lead a full life, where my family comes first, and I'm no longer driven by fear. Fear used to run my life. A recent Adidas survey found out that 92% of runners, women runners, are scared for their safety. Over half of them are afraid of physical attack. That used to be me, guys. I was always scanning. I was always guarded. Not anymore. And here's something else that might surprise you. The research shows that the average person has about 60,000 thoughts a day. Guys, around 80% of those are negative. Through this type of coaching, rarely does a negative thought come into my head. And if one does, I catch it, I breathe through it, and I shift before it spirals down and takes me down. This work is so incredibly powerful. One of my clients, during a deep breathing sentence completion session, finished the sentence, and the beginning of the sentence was, in regards to this coaching, and she said, in regards to this coaching, it's better than years of therapy. And she meant it. It's not that we're great coaches, it's that the answers are in you already. We just help you access them. By bypassing the left brain and tapping directly into your subconscious, we get straight to the truth. That's why this coaching is at least 10 times more powerful than anything I have ever done before. So, guys, told you this would be short and sweet. If you've ever thought about coaching, let me ask you something. What is it that you are really, really good at? Something maybe you've mastered over the last 20 or 30 years. Now imagine me trying to come in and do it with zero experience. How quickly would I improve if I had you coaching me through it? Guys, that's the power of coaching. You don't have to make the same mistakes that I made. It's very, very incredible. The real question, how fast do you want to get where you're trying to go? It's like taking the speed elevator instead of the stairs. We offer a free 1 hour Zoom call. It's a discovery call, and it's a guided conversation to help you uncover what's actually really holding you back. Not the surface level stuff that you think it is, but we're talking about pulling out the root of the frustration or the burnout or the fear that just keeps showing up. Dr. Ron did a discovery call earlier this week with a lady, and she said the discovery call was better than years of therapy for her. This call is a gift. It's packed with insight. And whether or not you hire us, I promise you will walk away with clarity and a deeper understanding of what is driving your current results and how to change them. Most people, after they do this kind of coaching, they do want to join in, but there's no pressure. It's an open invitation to finally meet the part of you that has been waiting to be heard. You can also head to my YouTube channel, Think Your Way to an Epic Life, for this, and you can click on the live tab and you can watch a 4-part mini series where Dr. Ron and I dive really deep into our coaching work and what it does and what it entails. So if you're curious about it, please go over and check those out. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that you gave me the opportunity to just tell you what I'm excited about, tell you about the new direction that I'm going. One of the things that I have said to Dr. Ron on multiple occasions is, I wish I would have met you 40 years ago. I also asked him that question in the mini series. What percent of people wait to call you until it's critical, it's crucial? You'll have to check the numbers if you watch the miniseries. I'm pretty sure he said it was like 97%. Please don't be part of that 97%. At least examine it. And I promise, if you get into this coaching, you will be so incredibly grateful that you did. Thank you again, guys, for giving me the opportunity to talk to you about what's going on in my world. I hope everything is going great in your world. Down below, we'll have the links that you can just click and get on the calendar with Dr. Ron or get on the calendar with me, whichever one you'd prefer. And we can do a 100% free discovery call that just might give you some insight that will help change your life. So I am revealing the name for the first time publicly. This is the name of our new coaching company, The Coaching Nexus. Guys, we really want to connect with you. So please let us guide you on this incredible journey of freedom and joy and happiness. Thank you again for watching.